Okay, so today we're going to go over properties of exponents. These guys are a little bit different. You're already not really familiar, comfortable with exponents probably. It's a little bit of a new topic. Properties of exponents is going to be just a little bit more confusing, but it's okay. Understand that it's frustrating for everyone. It takes some time to get used to them. I'll try and explain them the best way that I can, but worst case scenario, you can always memorize them. So these are the properties like you would expect from addition and subtraction and multiplication. They have certain properties that tell us what they can and can't do. So our goals for today are to be able to understand and explain what an exponent is. We also want to understand what an exponent actually does, and we want to recognize and use properties of exponents. So let's talk about them. We use exponents to make our life easier and write a lot of multiplication. It's basically because we're lazy and we need an easier shorthand to write lots and lots of multiplication. They just tell us that there is a repeated multiplication going on. So we have this guy down here, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Now that's just a mouthful altogether, but we can write it as 3 to the 4th, and it means the exact same thing. It saves a lot of space, and it keeps us from spending all of our days talking about multiplication. Now, we're going to talk about this, and it's all about that base. So you have, I don't remember her name, but she sings the song, It's All About That Base. And we're talking about the base of the exponent, and that is the number or the variable that's being multiplied by itself. The exponent only applies, so the thing that's like the little number that's above it only applies to the number right next to it, or the base. And anything else that isn't the base, or isn't that number being directly raised to a power, is called a coefficient, just like the coefficients that we saw beforehand when we're talking about polynomials. Let's look at our notation. So our green right here, that's going to be our base. So b right there, that's the thing being raised to a power, and that power is the power of n, so that's our exponent. The way that we talk about this is we just say b raised to the nth power, or b to the nth power. And what it actually means is we're saying b times b times b times b times however many that is. N just means some number. And so however many numbers, whatever that number is, you just keep multiplying it until you reach that number of b's being multiplied together. Now we're going to do it with a coefficient, so we'll notice that we now have that blue 7 in front of it. That is our coefficient. So that's not being raised to a power. Our base is still the b, it's still our nice green b right there, and our exponent is still the n. We're going to say something like 7b to the nth power. That 7b implies the multiplication between the 7 and the b, but the b is still raised to the nth power. That's the only thing being raised to a power. What we mean is we're saying 7 times b times b times b times whatever number it needs to be. So right now I want you to do a quick check, and I just want you to pause the video and identify the base and the exponents of these examples.